Part of our Soma culture is that we believe that we hear from God.
There's a step in which I learn that God talks to me. There's a whole nother step that says that God talks to you, and that I have the ability to accept that. And then, of course, John has the ability to speak it and share it. Welcome back to Tempus Divum. Today, a new face on the camera, although I don't know if you've probably heard of him on the podcast. This is Gavin Nichols. He's been here at Soma for a long time, and of course, he's been with Boot Camp Northwest, if you've heard of that, for a long time. Today, we want to talk about a topic that we call the epic story. And long story short, this becomes a big framing piece for the way that we see much of the other things we do. So, Gavin, without kind of like giving away the story, like, tell me why this is an important topic. Why do you think?
Because you kind of just said it, like, it frames the entire thing. It gives context to what's happening, and context changes everything. You know, you fall and skin your knee because you tripped on a sidewalk, you know, that's a little accident. You fall and skin your knee because a playground bully pushed you, that's an entirely different story. Yeah. You fall and skin your knee because you're saving your child from a burning house, that's a third story. You know, so like the context surrounding the individual events that happen to you reframe everything and tell us how we should react to that.
Right.
And so, you know, if you don't have the proper context for your life, you will misinterpret what's happening, and interpretation is everything.
Right on. I remember, and I think that Eldridge kind of lays this out in the sessions that we'll be talking about. But there's this way in which, not for anyone's fault, I don't think anyone did this on purpose, but sort of over the last 100-ish years, a lot of certainly evangelical Christianity has focused so much on basically salvation and the cross, to the exclusion of everything else, that we've lost our place in the story. And so this idea of that if you find yourself in chapter 1 of a 10-part story, that's a different world than if you find yourself in chapter 9, right? Even if it's the same story. Not to mention, what kind of story is this? Is this a comedy? Is it a tragedy? I don't know. And if without that, we find ourselves kind of reacting in a world in which we don't know what anything means. We don't know when especially when bad stuff happens, but good stuff too. We don't understand its purpose. We don't understand how it fits in the story. And so everything just seems mysterious, which erodes our hearts. We don't know where to put it. Everything just is like, and so you're left with this distortion, like, is God just being a jerk? Am I missing something? Is he holding out on me? Like, there's this relationship that we don't know how it all works. And so that especially hurts us, I think, when times are hard, not to mention like this year. To be able to contextualize 2020, like that would be a really powerful thing. A little bit of clarity would go a long, long way. And so that's why we think this is such an important topic. By itself, teaching is maybe too strong a word in the sense like it's not exactly theology, but it's kind of like that. So it's kind of. And but I do think it's incredibly important for our hearts, which is a big key thing that we think about here. So with that, we're going to introduce you to John Eldridge, who is doing. He wrote a little tiny book called Epic. And then this is sort of a stage presentation that he did, and I don't know, 10 years ago or so. So we hope you enjoy it, and we'll catch you on the back.